The Durham Association of Educators staged a sick-out and shut down 11 schools and 6 cafeterias to protest the clawbacks of proposed raises.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
We're going to go ahead and get right to last week in Southern labor. Lots of updates. So here's what workers in the U.S. South and the American colonies were up to from January 28th to February the 2nd. In new campaigns, 2 workers at Jupiter Aluminum in Wellsburg, West Virginia, filed a petition to hold a union election with the United Steelworkers, USW. 1 worker at Transdev Services in Mobile, Alabama, filed a petition to hold a union election with the Amalgamated Transit Union, ATU Local 770. 18 workers at Starbucks in Miami, Florida, filed a petition to hold a union election with Starbucks Workers United. The employer filed a petition to hold a union election after a majority of the 2 workers at Vestas Services in Stafford, Texas, demonstrated support for unionization with Teamsters Local 988. The drivers are seeking to be added to a unit of sales representatives already represented by the Teamsters. The employer filed a petition to hold a union election after a majority of the 10 workers at Heinz GS Properties in Washington, D.C. demonstrated support for unionization with the International Union of Operating Engineers, IUOE Local 99. Workers likely pushed by their employer filed a petition to decertify the Bakery, Confectionery, Tobacco Workers, and Grain Millers International Union, BCTGM Local 218, as the union representing 16 workers at ADM Milling in Carthage, Missouri. 22 workers at Vision Works in Lexington, Kentucky, filed a petition to hold a union election with the Teamsters Local 651. 50 guards at Allied Universal in Tampa, Florida, filed a petition to hold a union election with the Security, Police, and Fire Professionals of America, SPFPA. Workers likely pushed by their employer filed a petition to decertify the International Association of Aerospace Workers, IAMAW Local Lodge 1745, as the union representing the 18 workers at Rail Crew Express in Thayer, Missouri. 600 workers at Westinghouse Electric Company in Hopkins, South Carolina, filed a petition to hold a union election with the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, IBEW. In campaign updates, after holding their first public forum a week or so ago, Hyundai workers in Montgomery, Alabama announced that they had hit 30% cards signed with the United Auto Workers, UAW, with an amazing video that we're going to be playing later in the program. Nationwide, the UAW announced that over 10,000 auto workers have signed cards. That is significant progress towards their goal of organizing 150,000 non-union auto workers. At an NLRB hearing last week, the board set an April 22nd date for a hearing before an administrative law judge to determine whether objections by Amazon or RWDSU in the 2022 Bessemer Amazon union election constitute an unfair labor practice, nullifying the results. If the results are notified, that could potentially result in a 3rd election at the Bessemer Amazon facility. In election results, 14 workers at Alabama Arise received voluntary recognition with the Communication Workers of America, CWA, Local 3908. Congratulations, Adam. The petition to hold a union election with the News Guild CWA's Media Guild of the West for 15 workers at San Antonio Report has been withdrawn, as has the petition to hold a union election with the Teamsters Local 886 for 14 workers at Graves Minamaker Foods Transportation in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. The petition to hold a union election with the Teamsters Local 728 for 46 workers at OAP Transportation in Forest Park, Georgia, has been withdrawn, as has the petition to hold a unit clarification election with the IBEW Local 222 for 950 workers at Luma Energy Serve Company in San Juan, Puerto Rico. 62 workers at Nestle USA in McDonough, Georgia, voted 31-27 against decertification of the Retail, Wholesale, and Department Store Union, RWDSU Mid-South Council, meaning that the union will remain. This decertification petition was filed with help from the National Right to Work Foundation. 25 workers at Duke Riley Hospital in Raleigh, North Carolina voted 14-11 in favor of unionization with the IUOE Local 465. 25 workers at Platinum Waste Disposal in Ganaibo, Puerto Rico voted 19-6 in favor of unionization with the Central General de Trabajadores, the General Workers Center. 24 workers at Ballet Austin voted unanimously with 100% turnout in favor of unionization with the American Guild of Musical Artists. 1,781 workers at Experts, a cleaning service in San Juan, Puerto Rico, voted 622-272 in favor of unionization with the Service Employees International Union, SEIU Local 1996. That's a huge win.
Hey, 5 seconds, just wanted to say that this is only possible because of our donors. If you want to see more of this, then consider donating yourself at tvlr.fm/donate.
In settlements, grievances, and unfair labor practices, AFGE won 2 years of back pay for 80 firefighters in Florida who were not being compensated for all hours worked. In strikes and bargaining updates, the Teamsters is calling for a strike of their 5,000 workers at Anheuser-Busch breweries across the country, imminent and unavoidable, and demanded their last, best, and final offer. UE Local 150, which represents state and municipal workers in North Carolina, is threatening a sanitation strike in Durham if they don't get $25 an hour. Staying in Durham, the Durham Association of Educators staged a sick-out and shut down 11 schools and 6 more cafeterias to protest the clawbacks of proposed raises. And additionally, in minor league football, there were some updates last week. Y'all will remember that with the merger of the USFL and the XFL into the UFL, the United Football League, the USFL Players Union, affiliated with the Steelworkers, now represents players that were formerly in the XFL as well. That's led to some controversy, including famous Alabama alum A.J. McCarron publicly blasting the union, saying that since XFL players voted down the union in their election, they shouldn't have to be a part of it now. So a lot more that situation continues to be controversial. In politics and legislation, United Campus Workers, CWA, rallied and lobbied in the Virginia state capitol to secure collective bargaining for university workers. Last week marked a year since the East Palestine train derailment. Train accidents went up, not down, following the accident. Check out the Working People podcast for great coverage of this disaster, as well as the Real News Network. The Georgia Senate voted to expand cash bail and criminalize charitable bail funds. It's free speech to donate to political campaigns, but it's not free speech to donate to people's bail. Insane. The American Federation of Government Employees, AFGE, is pushing a bill that would give federal employees a 7.4% raise to help close the widening federal employee pay gap that has now reached 27%. The American Federation of Teachers, AFT, becomes the latest union to endorse a ceasefire in Gaza, meaning that unions representing about half of the labor movement have endorsed a ceasefire. It's also worth noting that Randy Weingarten, president of the American Federation of Teachers, was reportedly the most vocally pro-Israel voice on the AFL International Executive Board call when the issue came up. So if she has moved on this issue, or at least has publicly moved on the issue, whatever she feels privately, it's clearly becoming the standard position among unions and the American public. The Council of Bosses in Alabama has announced an all-out war against the state's auto workers in their attempt to unionize, with public admissions of close coordination between their organization and the state government to try to hinder workers' rights to organize. Alabama bosses and politicians aren't the only ones declaring war on their constituents, with South Carolina Governor McMaster stating that he would fight unions, quote, to the gates of hell in his speech, in his State of the State speech last week. And we're going to be playing that in overtime, but I just want to say for the main show that he has one of those, like, evil Southern accents, right? You know, there are two different Southern accents. There's the one that's like the normal working people Southern accent, and there's the evil one of the slave owners. Yeah, that's the one that he has. Just for the record, if you wanted to get a feeling for what he sounds like. In internal union affairs, the Professional Firefighters of Greensboro announced that 21 new firefighters from the most recent recruit class joined the union, bringing their membership total to over 600. Congratulations. So if we missed anything, let us know. tvlr.fm/contact, and we'll make sure to include it on the next roundup. You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.